The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
When you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. We made it. We made it. We made it. We made it. Let's go. Let's go. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now.
Let's hunt.
We made it. Let's go. Let's go. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this trying to read the mind the heat of football.
Yap.
The bottom line is you got to buckle up with chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yap. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him.
He's a man.
It can be a hit just like this. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's who I am. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. You had no work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go.
Let's go, by God, let's go. We ready. Nah, this game is not over. It's just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live, kyokradio.org, and on YouTube, The Lunch Break with AJ Jones, and on Facebook, at Lunch Break KYOK, at Lunch Break KYOK. Glad you had time to join us today. Really looking forward to a fun show on Winning Wednesday. I think I got some tickets to give away to the State Fair Classic. That'll be Grambling State taking on none other than Prairie View. Of course, coming off of their big win in the Labor Day Classic. In fact, both teams come into that game 1-0. Grambling got back by Tennessee State in the Hall of Fame Classic, and I think that final score was 16-10. And of course, Prairie View put it on Texas Southern 40-17. So it's going to be a good game at the State Fair Classic. I'm going to lean towards Prairie View in that one, but Grambling, don't come for me like all my Jackson State friends have done, man. They are on me. They let me know that they were right, I was wrong. I had to post up an apology. At the beginning of the show, I apologized to Jackson State for thinking that FAMU was going to beat them. I still think FAMU is going to win the SWAC, but they got a little work to do because they were 0-1 after losing to Jackson State 7-0. And Deion Sanders, man, he has gone off talking about why HBCU schools should have the names of their players on the back of their jerseys. And I know a lot of folks find it, what's the word I'm looking for? Fashionable, a trend to come for Coach Sanders. Hey, leave him alone. Leave him alone. He's not making crazy statements like Dabo Sweeney. He's not making crazy statements like Coach Gundy. He's not making crazy statements like folks like that. He's trying to draw the attention where it needs to be to these amazing young men and their efforts on the field. And like you said, there ain't a parent in the world out there that don't want to see their child's name on the back of a jersey and be able to shout out for their child. So love Coach Sanders for his passion, love his passion for his players and the program and the HBCU community. I do. I absolutely do. Listen, we're going to be talking more in depth about the HBCU games from the weekend and for the week coming up, when none other than my frat brother, Coach Johnnie Cole will join me in the second hour for the HBCU Stroll. It's a special edition of the HBCU Stroll. Normally we do that on Mondays, but we got to do it on Wednesday today because Coach Cole and I were both off for the holiday on Monday, and then he was traveling on yesterday. So today is the day. We'll talk about the Hall of Fame Classic. We'll talk about the Orange Blossom Classic. We'll talk about the Labor Day Classic. Might even get the Red Tails Classic in a little bit. Talk a little bit about Tuskegee. So anyway, all that's coming up on the show today. We got to go through this first hour. The football games, NFL football games coming up this weekend. Of course, if you are going to participate in the lunch break, keeping up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge, you got to have your picks into me by tomorrow at 5 o'clock Central. Anybody can participate. No purchase necessary. You don't have to do this or buy that or log into this or log into that. I thought about signing up with one of the other networks that we use for the March Madness. I thought about signing up with one of those and creating a pool just for us. But no, let's keep it the way it is for right now. You send me your picks by tomorrow, 5 o'clock Central, and you give me the winner of every one of the games. Who you think's going to win tomorrow night? Who you think's going to win on Sunday? And then use the Monday night game as the tiebreaker. What does that mean? Tell me who's going to win and give me the exact score of the game. Not combined score, but the exact score. I mean, if you think it's going to be 25-12, if you think it's going to be 14-13, if you think it's going to be 20-10, whatever you think that final score is going to be, send that because we'll use that as the tiebreaker. And the winner will get $50 cash money, $50. And the ones who are in the top six at the end of the year, will compete for $500 cash. So that starts tomorrow, man. It is here. It is on us. So I'm going to mess you up. I'm going to give you my picks. Keeping up with the Joneses, I'm going to give you the Joneses picks, and then you can kind of figure out what you're doing from there. But again, you can text those picks to me at 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005, or you can email them, aj@kylksports.com, aj@kylksports.com. Text message and email both have timestamps on them, so there's no, guesswork on did you get them in time, did you not? If you're in the East Coast, I got to have them by 6 o'clock your time. If you're on the West Coast, I got to have them by 3 p.m. your time. Tomorrow, I want to hear you working, making all that money on the left coast. Get your picks in because it's on and popping. Again, Ferdinand led most of the year. Milo was right there for the good part of the year. Big time Floyd was up in the top ranks, but it was Chi-Town. It was Chi-Town that came out in the playoff round and won that $600. Who's going to win it this year? Is it going to be Big Mike? Is it going to be Alexis? Is it going to be Erica? Amber? We got ladies that play, so don't feel like you don't know enough about it to play. Just pick. Sometimes it's the ones that don't put a lot of research and all that in that some of us guys do. All that research and expertise and all that. Just pick who you think your favorite team is. I remember one year she liked to pick the favorite colors of the uniforms and the logos on the helmet, and she finished in the top 6. So listen, pick who you think, send them in by tomorrow, 5 o'clock Central, and you are in. You got a chance to win $50 every week. Every week you got a chance to win $50. All right. So we got to get ready to take our first break. But when we come back, we're going to real quick talk about the Astros in baseball, the Rangers in baseball, because they are all getting ready to play in the 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock hour. And we got to get to those football picks. If you want to get in, you can call me on the celly today. 832-403-5005. Yup, I'm going to put you live on the air if you call me on that number. 403-5005 or text me on that number, 832-403-5005, and we will get you on. It's the Lunch Break Winning Wednesday on the legendary KYOK. We'll be right back right after this.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Carr, and here is your winning strategy. God came from his throne, gave up his seat, and living in a wealthy place, wrapped himself in the flesh and became poor so that you wouldn't have to be deprived. It's kind of like the rich prince Eddie Murphy played in the movie Coming to America. You remember that he was chasing after a woman. So he left his royal palace to become poor and live in the worst neighborhood. Just like that, but at a greater capacity, God left his wealthy place to come to earth to chase after you so that you wouldn't be poor. God thinks the world of you. Sometimes you have to detox your thoughts and begin to ask God to reveal his thoughts to you so that you can think like him.
If you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, you may qualify for a free continuous glucose monitor system. Managing your diabetes is crucial to your health. The new CGM systems can automatically manage your diabetes better for you. And by using a CGM system, you can eliminate forever one thing most people with diabetes hate the most: finger sticks. Now it's possible to manage your diabetes better, end the painful finger sticks, and get a new CGM monitoring system at little or no cost to you. We even provide in-home delivery and do all the insurance paperwork for you. Now is the best time to manage your diabetes better and get your continuous glucose monitor. Call now for details. Call 800-513-0840. 800-513-0840. 800-513-0840. That's 800-513-0840. Paid for by U.S. Med.
What's up, everybody? This is Jonathan Nelson, and you're listening to The Lunch Break with AJ.
All right, thank you very much there, Jonathan Nelson, right here on The Lunch Break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our Winning Wednesday, and man, I love those winning strategies from Jacqueline Carr. I love those. I know CJ loves those. She just listens for the winning strategies, so glad to be able to get that in. All right. Real quick, let me talk about the Astros. Last night, they were trailing going into the bottom of the ninth inning, and Alex Bregman, woo! You know, the one who loves Ric Flair, Alex Bregman ended up smacking a two-run home run in the bottom of the ninth to tie it up at 4, and then they go into the extras. In the bottom of the 10th, it was Carlos, you can trade him if you want to, Correa, with a an RBI double that got them even. So got them the win, walk-off RBI double in the win. And the Astros got it 5-4 last night over Seattle. Those two teams are about to meet in just a little bit, looking at my clock, in just about an hour at 1:10 Afternoon Delight right here in Houston, down there at Minute Maid Ballpark. So we'll see if the Astros can get it going. Right now, the Astros are in first place by 6.5 games in the American League West. Not that they're going to make any noise in the playoffs, but the Rangers have quietly won 3 in a row after beating Arizona 3-1 last night. They're going to try to make it 4 straight when those two teams meet this afternoon at 2:40 live from Arizona. So Major League Baseball is coming down the stretch. So let me kind of give you the standings in Major League Baseball real quick. Major League Baseball standings. All right. For the American League, the Tampa Bay Rays are leading their division. Right behind them, second in the American League for leading their division, the Astros. And in third, also leading their division, the Chicago White Sox. Now, the wild card teams right now are looking like the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. Both those teams are 2 games up on the Blue Jays for the wild card spots. So we'll see how that plays out. There's still a few games to go, but not many. Let me jump over to the National League side. The division leaders, San Francisco Giants, have the best record in baseball, 89-50. The Brewers are leading their division at 85-55. And then, of all people, the Atlanta Braves. And I'm happy for that because they had that HBCU night during the MEAC SWAC Challenge weekend. So I'm glad to see that they're up like that. All right, the wild card teams are the LA Dodgers and the the San Diego Padres, and right behind them, my hometown Cincinnati Reds. Teams with still a shot to get into the wild card are the Phillies, the Cardinals, and the Mets. Cubbies are about 10 back. I don't think they have a real chance. So there you go. That's a little baseball rundown for you right now. Again, Giants, Brewers, Braves, Dodgers, and Padres. Reds and Phillies are right there. On the American League side, you got the Rays, the Astros, and the White Sox, and then the Yankees and the Red Sox looking like the wild card teams. The Blue Jays and the Mariners. Also, the Athletics are within reach. All right. So now let's talk some football. CJ says, I love those, but I listen for more than that. LOL. Well, CJ, you sweet. Look, I might be nice to you today. On Winning Wednesday. Keith Hennick, what up, though? Amy Claire Boucher Castro Smith Barney Johnson Jones III. How you doing? She up there in Cincinnati as well. All right, so let's get to some football. Who y'all got this weekend? Starting with tomorrow. I'm going to give you my picks, and you put yours down. And then again, why don't you just send them in for the Lunch Break Weekly, Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge. I want to try and find as many names as Amy Claire Boucher Castro Smith Barney Johnson Jones III has. So I call it the Lunch Break Weekly, Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge that we do every week. Weekly, every week. That's redundant. All right. So anyway, we'll start with tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, it is the Dallas Cowboys visiting Tom Brady NIM in Tampa Bay. Tom Brady and them, because everybody who was on that Super Bowl team last year and it wasn't last year, it was in February. Everybody who's on that Super Bowl team is pretty much on that team right now. So Dak Prescott back from injury. Mike McCarthy back from whatever that was last season. New defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, Dan Quinn. I always want to put an O on that. I don't know why I want to put Dan O. Quinn, but Dan Quinn coming in with the Cowboys. And I guess they've tried to retool that offensive line. That's the key for me and the Cowboys. If you don't give Dak time to be Dak, not like last year before he got hurt. Dak was running for his life until it caught up with him. And oh yeah, by the way, Todd Malcolm. I'm pausing for a reason, not because I forgot. Andy Dalton was nowhere near a capable backup to Dak Prescott. Nowhere near it. So anyway, they have to retool that offensive line because think about it. That offensive line is the key to everything for the Cowboys. It helps Zeke Elliott get off. It helps Dak Prescott take his time, be able to go through his progressions, and find that amazing receiving core. And they've got some receivers. Can't get to them if you don't have time, though. That being said, that's all I'm doing is saying it because Tampa Bay has the ability to put pressure on the quarterback. I don't care who your offensive line is. In fact, you don't want them to find out that you got leaks because they have a defensive coordinator Todd Bowles, who is able to exploit the problem. You're right. I forgot Zach Martin. Zach Martin is in the COVID protocols, and I think he actually has it. So I don't think he's playing tomorrow. So there you go. Todd Bowles is going to find a way to exploit any weakness that he sees on that offensive line or on that edge or wherever he sees an advantage. He is one of those ones who can adjust his defense on the fly to exploit those weaknesses. All right. So stay right there. We'll get into it a little bit more. I got to take another break. Let me get my commercial together. Y'all stay right there. And we'll get into it in just a minute. Keith Hennick on top of it with the news. Keith Hennick said, yep, Dan Quinn appears to have COVID. I think you're absolutely right. So we'll be right back. Eric, thank you, Eric. Eric Martinier, I hope I said your name right. Eric said, yes, Zach Martin is out. So thank you for that, Eric. Let me take a quick break. We'll be right back with more right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happens. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-561-6198. 800-561-6198. 800-561-6198. Again, that's 800-561-6198.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Jonathan McReynolds, and I'm glad that you made room for the legendary KYOK, The Lunch Break.
Thank you very much there, Jonathan McReynolds. He's a multi-Stella Award winner, and I mean it, man. I appreciate him making those drops. All right, so let's see. Hey, Eric says, shout out to my coach, Johnnie Cole, amazing football mind. Yeah, I loved him then. I love him now, and I can't wait for us to get together in just a little bit. About an hour from now, he'll be on, and we will be talking about HBCU football. But, Eric, thank you for tuning in, man. Really appreciate you. But he's right. Zach Martin is out, and that's one of those things, man, you don't want to give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and that defense led by Todd Bowles anything to exploit, man. And I tell you, Dallas is going to have to use the next man up theory. Next man up has got to be Zach Martin-ish, and if he's not, it's going to be a problem. And you don't want Dak Prescott running for his life in his first game back since that horrific injury that he suffered at the beginning of last season. So we'll see how things go there. But again, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys tomorrow night. Now, I'm going to tell you, last year, Tampa didn't get off to the best of starts, but look at how they finished. Do I expect that to be the case this year? No, I don't expect that to be the case at all. Tom Brady, brand new system, new terminology, new everything. And let's just be real. Tom Brady probably had some nerves going on, he probably didn't settle down until the second half of the first game. But I'll say this. I expect them to get off hot. I expect them to get off fresh. I said yesterday, I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Brady Nim, that's the new word for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady Nim. I wouldn't be surprised if they get off to a smooth start. Like, seriously, like rip off like 10, 12 games in a row before they suffer their first loss. I mean that. I'm not just kidding. I'm not just saying that for whatever. Let's see. Eric said Sue is back off COVID, so you know that defense is about to get after Dak. You're right. Man, listen, part of the game plan is make Dak run for his life. That's on somebody's board somewhere. Make Dak run for his life. I would. I mean, I ain't saying run out there and hurt him. Not saying that at all. Please don't even imply that in what I'm saying. I'm saying when you got a quarterback coming off of an injury like that, and in this preseason and training camp season, he's had some issues with the throwing shoulder. Got put on a pitch count. Had some restrictions. He's off of that now. But listen, make him throw that thing on the run. Don't let him set his feet and get his base under him where he can get good velocity and good spin on the ball. Make him throw that thing on the run. Make him have to whip it across his body or something like that. I don't see Tampa Bay using the preseason defense in this one. I expect them to pull out all the stops and let everybody in the NFL be on notice. We ready. We ready. We ready. All right. So let me go ahead and quit playing with this one. Let me see what the experts say about this one real quick. Let me see what the experts say about this one. CJ, somebody just texted me. They said that CJ person got a crush on you. And then they said they kidding. CJ, you better not have no crush on me. Is that why you listen? I thought you were listening for the game time and Jalen Carr winning strategies. All right. So anyway, y'all can text me 832-403-5005. You can even call me at 832-403-5005. I'll put you on. You ain't talking crazy. I'll put you on. All right. So this one is more than a touchdown spread. This one is more than a touchdown spread. It's an 8-point spread. I don't think Vegas is far off on this one. I don't think the experts are far off on this one. Eric says, I think he'll be okay if they can get the running game going, but Dallas has enough talent to make it a game. I agree with that. And that's why I say it can't all be on Dak's arm. They got to get Ezekiel off. They got to get some quick hitting plays to those playmaking wide receivers. One thing about Mike McCarthy, he's one of those old school coaches. So what's that mean? He wants to throw the ball vertically downfield. He wants to get that thing 15 yards or more down the field. You don't always have time for that. Hey, man, let's see some quick hits to CeeDee Lamb. Let's see some quick hits to, Cooper. Let's see some real stuff that will put the Tampa defense on their heels and not let them just tee off on Dak and that, I'm not going to call it a makeshift offensive line, without Zach Martin, because, again, they should be all right, but we'll see. I'm going with Tampa Bay in this one. I'm going with Tampa Bay, and I'm going with them by a touchdown. I'm not going the full 8 points. I'm going with them by a touchdown. In fact, 28-21. 28-21. I need to be writing this down because y'all going to say, AJ said, and then I didn't say that. 28-21. Tampa Bay over Cowboys by a touchdown. All right? That's the first one. Keith Hennick, what say ye? I know you're a Tampa Bay fan. First game of the year, can your Bucks put up 28 points? That Cowboy defense was horrendous. Might be horrendous again. I might be too generous by only allowing 28 points. It might be 35. It might be 35 points. I'm going to be nice and say 28. All right? All right. Now, y'all write your own picks down now and get those into me tomorrow by 5 o'clock so that you can possibly win $50 in the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge. All right. Sunday's games. Let's go. Sunday's game. Uh-oh. Eric, I like you already, Eric. I like people who don't just go with what I say. Let me put Eric's pick up. Eric said, upset. Eric says, Cowboys 31-27. L-Dub listening live from Memphis, Tennessee, where they got the worst barbecue in the world. If Kansas City is the barbecue capital of the United States, Memphis is the worst barbecue in the United States. I'll never forget getting a barbecue sandwich there, and they put some coleslaw on my barbecue. I was like, what are you doing? You did what? Did I ask for that? All right, Eric, man, you all right with me, Eric. You got to keep tuning in, even when Coach Cole ain't on. I like you, bro. All All right, so me and Eric have parted ways. He says Cowboys 31-27. Eric, I'm going Tampa Bay 28-21. I don't see the Tampa defense. I don't see the Tampa defense giving up 31 points. If they're going to do it, this will be the game they do it, though. First game of the year, guys, trying to get it going. If that's going to happen, it'll happen in this game. All right, so we'll see. All right, let's go to the next game. Next game, I got the Vikings and the Bengals. The Bengals hosting the Minnesota Vikings. Mister, you like that? Kirk Cousins versus Joe Burrow. And the same things that I said about the Cowboys and Dak, I could just pull Cowboys and Dak off and put on Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow. The Cincinnati Bengals have got to protect Joe Burrow. They've got to. And yeah, they've gotten him some additional weapons on the wide receiving core, and there's no more wondering when and hoping soon AJ Green is going to be available to play. He's gone. So now they ought to have healthy bodies on a consistent basis at the wide receiving core. But here's the thing. What's up with that offensive line? What's up with that running game? Are they going to be able to have a balanced enough offense for Joe Burrow to not be running for his life? Because you saw what happened when he was running for his life last season. Eventually, they caught up to him. And let me tell you something. Joe Burrow definitely played very well last year. He did not look like your typical rookie. He truly is who he was at LSU. He was the LSU Joe Burrow, not the Ohio State Joe Burrow. But anyway, I digress. I don't. Folks are going to think that I feel the way about Zach Taylor that I do Brad Stevens. I don't. Zach Taylor doesn't have near the hype that Brad Stevens had in the NBA. I don't think Zach Taylor's the man, though. That whole, you worked with Sean McVay. Oh, you knew Sean McVay. Oh, you shared a room with Sean McVay. Come be our head coach. Maybe we can get some of that Sean McVay. I think there's a couple of places where that has backfired. One of them is in Cincinnati. The other one is down there in Arizona. I don't even know if Cliff Kingsbury knew Sean McVay. I think they just look like, they got that same, All-American look. So I say that to say Cincinnati could upset Minnesota if they get the running game going and if they give Joe Burrow time to make plays and live through the plays that he makes. Minnesota has had a tumultuous offseason, and Kirk Cousins is still Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is still Kirk Cousins. So that Cincinnati defense can force some turnovers from Kirk Cousins. They do that. I think they upset the Minnesota Vikings. But I'm going to say, let's see, the experts say Cincinnati gets a 3-point boost. I'm going to go with Minnesota in that one. And that one's going to be a close one for me. Maybe 24-21, maybe 24-21, 24-21 Minnesota, but I won't be surprised if Cincinnati pulls off the upset again if they can protect Joe Burrow, they can run the ball, and their defense can force some turnovers. Minnesota's defense is legit. I don't think Zimmer will have any problems getting that defense together. You just never know what you're going to get out of Minnesota. And oh yeah, by the way, if Minnesota gets their running game going, it could be over. Dalvin Cook is, man, I love that dude. I love me some Dalvin Cook. Also believe Jefferson's going to have a big year. Again, he just needs a quarterback who can be consistent. That dude can be one of the best wide receivers in the game. I'm going with Minnesota in that one, 24-21. All right, let me see. I got a little more time before my next break. Let's go to the next one. The one right here. Texans hosting Jacksonville. The Texans traded away Bradley Roby to the New Orleans Saints. And we still don't know what the Texans got back for him. Like, Nick Caserio is exactly what the Texans organization wanted. I'm not saying he's what they needed. They love to do stuff like this. Bradley Roby got suspended at the end of the year for performance-enhancing drugs. Bradley Roby had the exact same story that most of the guys had. I took something, I didn't know what was in it, and I ended up getting popped. I apologize to my family, my friends, the organization. I'll take better care of what I put in my body and what who I listen to. That ain't good enough in the New England way. They don't put up with a whole lot of that in the New England way. They will ship your tail out as soon as you have a thing like this. Well, when you have New England front office people running your front office in Houston, guess what? Bradley Roby, been a model citizen in the city of Houston since the day he's got here, been the staple of a horrible defense since he's got here. As important, if not just a little bit more important than none other than J.J. Watt since he got here. And if that's a statement that you don't agree with, go back and look at the production from the time Roby got here and the time J.J. left. I'll leave it there. But still not good enough. Had a problem, got to go. They shipped him off for we don't know what to New Orleans. New Orleans is going to benefit from Bradley Roby. The Texans are going to end up with another question mark in the secondary. And oh yeah, by the way, a secondary that has way too many question marks. So if I had any thought that the Texans were going to be better than last season, based on what? Now, mind you, Bradley Roby wasn't going to play in this game anyway. He has to sit out, I think, 3 more games, 1 from last year, 3 this year, the first 3 this year. I don't mean you pack this guy up and get him out of here. I mean, here's the crazy thing. They kept Brian Cushing, and he got popped twice. Brian Cushing had more estrogen in him than a pregnant woman. They kept him, and not only did they keep him, they hired him back as the strength and conditioning coach. There's no possible place where that could go wrong, is there? Wait a minute, the guy that's doing drugs is over strength and conditioning for the whole team, and then all of a sudden you got players getting popped for doing drugs? I digress. I got new people watching. Let me behave myself. Eric, strike that from the record. Don't listen to anything I just said. But Bradley Roby's got to go. I don't want to, and I'm trying not to do the black-white thing. People like who they like. People don't like who they don't like. And they don't treat people the same. So that's when I hear people, the rules, you got to follow the rules. Let it be somebody you like. Oh, well, they were just, the coach from Gonzaga just got popped for DUI, and he wasn't a little bit drunk. He was drunker than drunk. And it's like, here comes cancel culture. They're going to want to run him out of Gonzaga. If it had been anybody other than Coach Few, there would be people jumping up and down. He got to go. What kind of message does that send to the kids? You're the head coach of Gonzaga. You were the number 1 team in the country. You should know better. It's got to go. But they like Coach Few. So it's no big deal. Nobody got hurt. He just has some problems. He'll be okay. I know for a fact. I'm going to say this, and if he wants to sue me, let him, because I promise you I can come up with more evidence that what I'm saying is true. When I lived in Gainesville, Florida, I can't tell you how many times the old ball coach, I'll leave it at that. I won't say his name. The old ball coach got escorted home after drinking a little bit too much and, having literally being kicked off golf courses for having drank too much. They loved him. He was bringing championships to Florida. Let it have been somebody else. You ain't getting escorted home. You getting escorted to the jail. Your picture is going to be all over I know it for a fact. I know local officers we got him again. We got him again. Bruh, you will not believe who we picked up again, drunk and driving. Like, for real? Yup. What y'all do? Took him home. Is it going to be on the news? You know it ain't going to be on the news. I'm just saying, man. I hear you, Eric. I got you. I've been known as the race guy, so that's why I'm saying it. That's why I'm saying people have accused me of being the Malcolm X of sports talk radio, and all I'm saying is Brian Cushing got every chance under the sun. Bradley Roby did not. Mark Few, Coach Few, will not get anything. He won't get suspended. He won't get any pay doc. He will get. They'll hoist up the banner for whatever they won. They didn't win the national championship, but they'll hoist up a banner for him winning the conference and all that kind of stuff. He won't. Ain't nobody calling for him to get fired in Idaho. They're not. They're not. So you see how it goes. Whoever they like, don't worry about it. People they don't like, the rules. All right, let me take a break. Y'all got me cutting up. I said I was going to behave today. I'm not. All right, let me see. I got to put on, y'all stay right there. I got to do a commercial, and then we'll come right back and do more of the picks. See, y'all got me off. I was behaving. Donna Coleman-Holman, I was behaving. I was behaving.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me.
Listen up, Mark Few.
And we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-961-2730. 800-961-2730. That's 800-961-2730.
This is Nick from Acres Home, checking out my boy AJ right here on KYOK 1140.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate you right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all new 92.3 FM. I promise you, I didn't mean to play that one. I had no idea that it was going to be that one. But if anybody got that number, please send that up to Coach Few. Please send that up to Coach Few because he might need that help. We want to help him. Let's see. All right, Eric, let me see now. He said they say Sam Acho is a spokesperson for our culture on ESPN now. They had to be joking. Let me tell you something, man. Acho. If Todd Malcolm is listening, Todd, get your boy. Acho don't speak for me. He is a trying to find the right words. He's a good blend for what that network is trying to put out there. You know, they got rid of the last dude because he got too far to the right. And now they've got Acho in there. And I've even come up with a term called Achoism. Achoism is something that sounded like it made sense in his head, but as soon as he said it, it was like, huh? Yeah. Y'all can. I know he's a Longhorn. I know they love him around here, but y'all can have him. Y'all can have him. That dude there. Hey, Kim Negrette, appreciate you tuning in the middle of your show. But anyway, let me get back to these games because I'm about to get in trouble. I'm about to get in more trouble. Eric, you and me, man, we going to be dangerous, bro. I'm going to have you on the show, see if we can cut up a little bit because I like your style, man. I like your style a lot. All right, so here we go. What did I say? Jacksonville Texans. Tyrod Taylor making his first start for the Texans, and he had the best camp of anybody, out of any of the quarterbacks combined. Did you call, CJ? CJ, did you call? I didn't know you called. Hold on, let me see. You ain't called nobody. Get off my phone. You didn't call nobody. I would have had you on if you called, but you didn't. So stop it. Stop fibbing. 832-234-2830. 832-234-2830. I know it looks like I'm in the studio, but I'm not. Modern technology. Call back. All right, so anyway, Tyrod Taylor, best camp of all the quarterbacks. And remember, Deshaun Watson didn't play quarterback in the spring, in training camp or in any of the preseason games. They kept him out. And I want to get that out real quick. Folks trying to make a big deal about Deshaun and all of that. Deshaun is doing what the Texans asked him to do. They asked him. He's doing what they asked him to do. They asked him to show up. He's showing up. He didn't get fined a dime because he showed up day one. But they didn't want to take away reps from Davis Mills, Jeff Driscoll, good Lord, and Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor clearly became QB1 compared to Jeff Driscoll and Davis Mills. And that's why he's getting the start. And the fact that they have made Deshaun the third string quarterback and basically have him inactive because they're not going to carry three quarterbacks into their game or really any of their games. All of that is because I said this yesterday. Let me go ahead and say it now. I believe that the vote on Deshaun is 2-1. I believe that Cal McNair wants Deshaun still. He feels like that is his golden goose. He believes that Deshaun can get him to where he wants to be, and that's, the championship. Deshaun doesn't want to be here. Cal got in his feelings. They got crossways with each other, and, a whole bunch of stuff happened since then. I'm not saying the team did it. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying a whole bunch happened when those two got crossways. I don't think Jack Easterby wants Deshaun Watson ever to set foot on another Houston Texan field with another Houston Texan jersey on. Holier than thou, self-righteous, Mr., we are the world. And, I think he thinks the scripture says, he who is without sin cast the first stone. I think he thinks he who has the first rock throw the first stone, because I don't think he wants Deshaun Watson back. And he is a voice in that front office. There are three voices in that front office: Cal McNair, Jack Easterby, and Nick Caserio. I already explained Nick Caserio comes from the Patriot way. The Patriots would have cut, traded, sold, moved, relocated, dropped off, and never came back Deshaun Watson long before any of this ever happened. They would have. As soon as he became a problem, he'd have been out. And then all this other stuff come out off the field. Oh, baby girl, baby boy, Deshaun would have been so traded. A trade would have just been like, what? So I think that 2 votes, Nick Caserio and the Pope of the team, Jack Easterby, is no, we don't want Deshaun on the field. Cal McNair is thinking like, well, the league hadn't suspended him. They're not going to even depose him until late February. So technically, he can play all season long. And I believe that Nick Caserio and Jack Easterby, the Pope of the team, are holding Cal back. No, Cal, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. You cannot do that. So I say all that to say, it's going to be these 2 quarterbacks, Tyrod Taylor and Davis Mills, heading into the season. Tyrod Taylor and Davis Mills. I think, didn't they bring back Jeff Driscoll on the practice roster? I think they did. So all that said, Tyrod Taylor is a serviceable quarterback. I want to say he's a good quarterback, but he's never really had a chance to prove that he can be that guy. When he got his shot in LA with the Chargers, freak accident, gets punctured lung by the doctors. Justin Herbert comes in and becomes Rookie of the Year. Understandable. No, I don't believe that old rule that you don't lose your position because of injury. Now, you lose your position to whoever's playing better than you at the time, and Herbert did that. Keith Hennig, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. So, Tyrod Taylor is going to be the starter. The offensive line is going to be, pretty much the guys we thought it would be. They did move Laramie Tunsil. He's still on the left side. They moved Titus Howard to the tackle on the right side. For a while during training camp, they were trying out the offensive line with Laramie Tunsil as the left tackle and Titus Howard as the left guard. And, man, that looked really good. I was hoping that they were going to stick with that. They didn't. Move Titus Howard back on the right side as tackle. Probably going to start 2 running backs in the backfield. At least that's what the preliminary lineup looks like, that they're going to go with Mark Ingram and Phillip Lindsay. The wide receiver core is a little suspect for me. But again, they got Brandon Cooks, so there's always plays to be made. And now they got Danny Amendola. Here's what they got more than anything. They've got a Jacksonville team coming in town that has a bunch of question marks. Question mark rookie head coach, question mark rookie quarterback, and a lot of fill-in spots. I would be more worried about Jacksonville if they still had a healthy Travis Etienne than without, because that's a young man that can make plays out at the wideout, out at the running back spot, all over the field. Here's what I do. I believe in more than I believe in whatever Urban Meyer has put together. Lovie Smith. I believe Lovie Smith, who had a team that didn't have a lot of big-name players and got them all the way to the Super Bowl. He had Rex Grossman as his quarterback, for God's sake, and got him all the way to the Super Bowl. I will trust a Lovie Smith NFL defense more than I will trust an Urban Meyer first-time coaching in the NFL with a rookie quarterback offense. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be the case all year long, because if anybody can figure out a scheme to confuse a defense, it's Urban Meyer. But week 1, game 1 against Lovie Smith's defense, I'm going Lovie Smith. So for that particular game, let's look at the deets. The Texans are a 3-point underdog. Good Lord. Vegas? I'm going Texans in the upset. Very close game. I mean, literally like 21-20. 21-20. Maybe 24-23. 1-point game. Texans win. I'm going with Lovie. I think Tyrod Taylor will do enough to make plays. I think, that running game will be better than what it was with what they had last year. So we'll see. I'm going Texans in the upset, 21-20. All right, if you got birthdays, get ready to give them to me. And then I'm going to run through the rest of these games. I'm going to run through them real quick. But if you got birthdays or any of that, get ready to give them to me. I got to get Sybil Wilkes on with what you need to know today. Eric said it's 21-20. You know what trolling is. Oh, CJ, she don't know what trolling is. She might not, though, Eric. She might not. CJ is not real social media lingo savvy. And I don't mean that in a negative way. She's a good person, very good person. So, she good. I was just messing with her. She's good. She might not know what trolling is, but we do know what Sybil Wilkes is and what you need to know. We'll be right back right after this.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Hump Day. It's Wednesday, September 8th, 2021. Number one, although there was great and widely reported Democratic opposition, Texas became the latest Republican state Tuesday to move against alleged vote fraud after the 2020 elections. Governor Greg Abbott signed into law Tuesday the controversial Texas state elections bill that's been widely criticized as an attempt to make it more difficult for Texans, especially those of color, to vote. Among the new voting restrictions, a ban on drive-through and 24-hour voting implemented during the pandemic, more protections for partisan poll watchers, and new ID requirements. Number two, this September, folks will see just how united the Democrats are as their agenda is jam-packed with legislative challenges that can make them susceptible to infighting or worse. They will need to decide upon many issues like the debt ceiling, the Voting Rights Act, an investigation on the Afghanistan withdrawal, and will attempt to bolster women's rights to abortion. The voting rights bill is unlikely to go beyond the 60-vote minimum to bypass the filibuster, leaving GOP-led states to continue implementing practices that restrict access to the ballot. Number three, first responders nationwide on the front lines of the pandemic are among the most hesitant to COVID vaccine mandates, despite being the group of Americans who are dying in larger numbers. According to data compiled by the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, 71 law enforcement officials in the U.S. died from COVID-19 in just the first half of this year. As the Delta variant continues to drive a record number of infections and deaths, frustrated city leaders are enacting mandates for municipal employees, including police officers and firefighters. Number four, this week of labor, we honor the Black labor leaders who visioned and struggled for workers' rights. From A. Philip Randolph, the father of the Black labor movement, to Linda Dent, a leading voice in the contemporary labor movement, African Americans have carried the torch in many social justice movements. Read more about these little-known trailblazers in today's newsletter. Number five, these days, the friendly skies are more of a distant memory. The Federal Aviation Administration said it has issued more than $1 million in fines to unruly airline passengers in 2021. There are no signs that the violence will abate anytime soon, thus reducing or eliminating fines. As recently as Monday, there was a confrontation on an American Airlines flight when a 61-year-old man was arrested after confronting and swearing at flight attendants, growling like an animal, and making racist comments. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Believe in the power of positive thinking. Inhale the good thoughts. Exhale those negative thoughts. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with Man About the World, Stephen Hill, comedian extraordinaire Myra J., and activist Quinn Townsend Riley as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partner, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SybilWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
Thank you very much there, Sybil Wilkes. We appreciate her.
It's Sybil Wilkes.
Sybil, you can't do it twice, babe. Sorry about that. All right. So anyway, let me say something, man. These passengers cutting up on these airplanes, they better be glad I ain't the pilot. I will make sure that they have a homing beacon and a parachute. You want to cut up? You want off the plane? We got you. Homing beacon and a parachute. We want to make sure you get down safely. We want to make sure they can find you when you get down. I know that ain't Christian-like. Pray for me. God ain't done with me yet. All right, let me get to these birthdays. Got to get to the birthdays. Hold on, let me get my birthday music together. Unless Eric can sing happy birthday too. Eric, if you can do that, bro, you just the man. You are the man. All right, got some special birthdays. Good friend of mine, Bridget T. Jackson, biggest Rocket fan, biggest Texan fan, and biggest Astro fans I know. She's probably a big Dynamo fan too. She is all things Houston. All right, Longhorn Keith, stay right there. I'm getting ready to come to you in just a second. All right, also, Kimmy Alexander celebrating her birthday with a good friend of mine, Von Seal Evans Cagle. Von Seal is the big 6-0 today. Happy birthday to you, Queen. Christy Moore from one of my rival high schools is celebrating her birthday. Bonita Hildreth Townsend celebrating her birthday today. T. Renee Curtis is 53 today. Happy birthday, Queen. Tyler Roman, 31. Happy birthday. Jerry Woodley Jr. celebrating his birthday, along with Carl Colston. Jennifer I'm not gonna say your last name, Jennifer. I don't want folks to know you listen, but happy birthday to you, Queen. She say she's not 42. It's just the 21st anniversary of her 21st birthday. Anthony Keeling celebrating a birthday, along with April Bradford. She's 44. Larry Greer is 45. Dana Heron is 46. Daryl Malloy celebrating a birthday along with Larry Greer, Veronica Harrison, and one of my dear friends, Ivy McGregor. And ladies and gentlemen, I could not let this day go by without acknowledging the birthday of one of our Hall of Fame callers. In fact, we got 2 Hall of Fame callers on the show. That's Aunt Bev and Uncle Buck. It's their birthday. All right, got to hit the top of the hour. I'll come back right after this.
Ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. We made it. We made it. We made it. We made it. Let's go. Let's go. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now.
Let's hunt.
We made it. Let's go. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this trying to be the mind, the heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up the chin straps. Because they matter. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him.
He's a man.
It can be he's a man. You already make the big man.
He's a man.
When you step on the field, man. That's who I am. When I step on the field, I send one message.
And this is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
I like that line. I'm going to use that. My bad. Your bad don't work in my world. All right, that's the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live on kyokradio.org and also on Facebook and YouTube. Longhorn Key, stay right there real quick. I got to do a couple of more quick birthdays. Uncle Buck, as I said, Hall of Fame caller, one of my longest friends I've ever had, over 31 years, none other than Letitia Jackson. Happy birthday to you. And also happy birthday to my friend Ivy McGregor. Just because I want to troll the Astro fans, Garrett Cole celebrating his birthday today, along with Mo Cheeks from those days with the New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers, and one of the baddest defensive players ever, L.C. Greenwood, celebrating his birthday, along with Uncle Buck, Ivy McGregor, and my dear friend Letitia Jackson. Got to get this song on for y'all.
Oh, go shout it. It's your birthday. Ooh, it's your birthday. Go shout it. It's your birthday. Today's your day. Happy birthday to you.
Man, September 8th is a special day, boy. Got some real good birthdays on September the 8th. All right, let me get back to it. Thank y'all for tuning in. First hour on the books, second hour underway. And we got a caller. Longhorn Keith, what do you do, brother? What's going on, man?
Everything's beautiful, man. How are you is the question.
Man, I'm great, brother. I'm great. Just taking care of a little business.
I ain't mad at you. Handle your business, bro. Hey, so a couple of things I wanted to talk about. So you were talking about the Texans and, you know, Deshaun Watson and that whole fiasco over there. The thing that gets me with the Texans that I don't understand, well, I never will, because I think you're 100% right in who's running the organization. But if I'm Cal and I am in charge of my payroll is being affected by this, right? So I have a responsibility to, ensure that, my payroll is in line. I played Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
And then if he refuses to play, then that's when you can say, okay, here's what then we don't have to pay you. But you at least get your money's worth out of the guy. But you're 100% right. I think that there's so much animosity between Nick Casario and that Easterby guy that there's some deep hatred or just some and if it's not hatred, then it's just a sheer sign of ignorance because you are in a win-win situation if you play him, but if you don't play him, you're continuing to make yourself look like a fool. More importantly, if you're the fan, you can't tell me you're trying to win by putting your best player as a third string. That just makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So, like,
hey, bro, listen. If I'm David Culley, I got Deshaun Watson as my starting, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Gainesville, Georgia, out of Clemson University, number 4. And I don't care what they say. I put Deshaun out there if I'm David Culley, but that ain't what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think for his, for lack of a better word, man, I just feel like he's nothing more than a puppet. I don't think that he can make a whole lot of decisions without Nick Casario's approval.
And go higher without Jack Easterby's approval, because Jack is the one that's running. He's pulling all the strings, in my opinion. Just my opinion now. I don't know that to be a fact.
Yeah, and it really and I feel bad for that guy. I really do. But nonetheless, I don't care for the Texans. I just wanted to make a commentary on that. And
who you got winning Texans in Jacksonville? Who you got winning that game?
Oh, Jacksonville.
Close?
Even with a rookie quarterback and yeah, I would say close. And I'll give you credit. That was a great point you made, because I do believe that Lovie Smith's defense is the difference in this whole entire year for this team. But in terms of and listen, Tyrod Taylor is a serviceable quarterback. But you need more than serviceable with the talent that he has around him, and I'm just not sure if that is ever gonna be the deal with them. So I see them as I see this not being a close game. I really do. I see it being a close game, but I don't see this year being a year where they win.
No, I don't either. I don't expect them to win more than what they won last year with Deshaun. I think they'll win 3 or 4 games, period.
Yeah. One last thing I want to talk about that I keep having to it's hilarious to me that obviously the Big 12, Bob Mosley, is trying to save his job now by bringing in teams that he could have invited years ago. And I want just the listening audience to pay attention to how quickly these ADs and these presidents of universities rally around a guy who literally is sinking his own ship, and yet they want to keep him in a position of power. It is absolutely hilarious to me. As a matter of fact, it's almost shameful that those same people who fight to make sure that they now move to a conference that they once were rejected from now want to help a guy save his job were the same people who were saying players shouldn't get paid for their name, image, and likeness.
Right.
Those same people were saying that players, their payment is their scholarship.
Right.
But oh no, you want to give a guy who is incompetent at best at his job, you want to give him the help that he needs when he's rejected you before. Like, if America don't wake up to the reality that, and I'll just call it what it is, white people in power will continue to support and give to people in power that look like them because they believe in those people and they believe that they should have that money without even working for it. And it's absolutely stupid to me. Those are the same people who will tell Deshaun Watson that, you messed up and you're horrible and yada, 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 and then Texas should take their money. But yet you got a guy who you had to hire some help and get some counseling for your job that you're getting paid millions of dollars for each year to help you keep your job. That's ridiculous. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, no, I will say this, man. I this hit me the other day that we like to say we're all in this together. We're not all in this together. We're not.
No, sir.
We're not all in this together. There are some people that are only in it with the people that they want to be in it, and everybody else can go do what they want to do. There are people that would rather do wrong with somebody that they like than to do right with someone that they don't know well or they don't like. So,
man, that's a bar. Say that again.
Man,
that's real talk.
it just is. So I'm not surprised that UCF and Cincinnati and these other schools are talking about joining the joining the Big 12. I'm not surprised at all. Again, you were rejected. They didn't want you. They needed you. Had every right to force your way. And now that they are dying on the vine, you are the IV. You are the medicine to save them. And instead of you at least saying, hey, listen, you didn't want us at first. We want to make sure we at least get this, this, and this. You just coming in an open door. I'm not there. I'm not there. I'm not going to lose any. And that's why I quit losing sleep over it, bro. I used to, get all riled up and they need to do this and they're doing what they want to do with whom they want to do it. College football is one of the biggest rackets in the game, bro. College athletics is one of the biggest. College is one of the biggest rackets in the game. You pay millions, man. You pay a whole lot of money for a piece of paper that might or might not do you any good later in life.
Yes, sir.
I'm just saying. Sir. I ain't trying to tell people don't go to college. I'm just saying to wisely. Choose wisely.
Choose wisely.
Choose
That's
wisely.
The best advice you can give somebody, man.
Choose
But
wisely.
you're right. So as somebody who I advocate for higher education, I do, but I also advocate for being smart about the decisions that you make in the schools that you attend, because sometimes I think that there are better options in trade schools than there are in college. Just my honest and humble opinion.
Did you know that DJ Durkin is still working?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. The dude that oversaw a program that caused the death of a young person has another job right now in college football.
But then you got a guy who has stand-up character, or at least requires stand-up character in his players, and that they should be accountable to the coaches and to the team, and he has to be an assistant coach. And let's just call it what it is, only because he's black, and not because he's not good. Because Charlie Strong is a good head coach when given a fair opportunity. But because he requires guys to be accountable, I'm sorry. You kill a kid versus a guy who has a clean record. I don't know. Clean record may be a stretch, but nonetheless, somebody who, for all intents and purposes, is a stand-up guy. Yet you get this guy a job. I just don't get it.
Yeah, if I'm Nebraska, I fire Scott Frost right now, bring in Charlie Strong, and I clean this program up. I get in some legit recruits.
Listen,
but they ain't gonna do it. They're not gonna do it.
You got jokes for real.
I'm just saying.
I know one thing is for certain. Nebraska, I believe that, and this is a program similar to, if you were doing comparisons to the NFL, the Texans are Nebraska in the NFL in the sense that they're going to sell out every home game no matter what the record is. Nebraska has not had one year that they didn't sell out a home game. I think maybe one in like 40 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their fans are that consistent.
Right.
And I believe the Texans hadn't had a season where they hadn't had a sellout. But and they put state product on the field. But they are gonna swear. They're gonna swear. And I'm glad you brought up Nebraska. They are the they are the preeminent example of what I mean in Bob Bowlesby in the Big 12. You got a guy who sucks at his job and is under investigation, by the way, for for NCAA violation. They got rid of the AD, brought in one of their cronies as AD this offseason, and yet he is failing in every aspect, whether it's culture, it's creating a culture that's conducive to being accountable, or just being a winner on the field. Scott Frost is failing in every aspect of the position, and yet he still has a job. I find it hilarious to me, man.
Wait, Keith. Wait now. You can't put some respect on that man's name. He had a major win against Fordham this past weekend.
Did you see the first quarter when Fordham got up? I think it was 7-0 or 14-0. And
I did.
The people were irate. I mean, it was all on social media. That's where I saw it. I was like,
I wish they had thrown some corn stalks out on the field. That would have been hilarious. That would have been funny. Bro, look, I got to go, man. I got to take a break, Keith. I appreciate you, man. Hey, who you got tomorrow? Your Cowboys or you got Tampa Bay?
Bro, you know I'm rolling with my Cowboys. This is our year. Somebody just predicted that the Buccaneers were going to go 17-0. I think that was Dan Orlovsky. Yeah, he went. The Buccaneers are in position to go 17-0. I go, that's exactly why you're not in the league no more, man. Dumb stuff like that.
Well, I'm right behind him.
We'll win tomorrow.
I'm right behind him. I got him 16-1, 15-2, 14. I don't have many worse than 14-3.
That's a good number. Well, one of their licenses is going to come tomorrow. First loss of the season is going to come tomorrow.
Keep your phone on where I can reach you, man, all right?
It's going to always be here, baby.
All right, man. Tell everybody where they can find you, follow you, and listen to your great show, man.
Saturday afternoon, right here on legendary KYOK Radio, Coffee with Keith. Man, I've got some exciting news coming up here in the next couple of days. But I'll be talking to a guy from Tallahassee, Florida, Mr. McCard, about where the coffee industry is going and Black people's involvement and white allies in the industry and how they can help push this envelope forward. It's gonna be fun, man. I'm super excited about it, and we're doing some great stuff. Super big announcements coming up over the weekend. So pay attention. If you haven't followed, please go follow me at Coffee with a K, Coffee with Keith on Instagram, and then some more social media stuff is about to pop up.
Brother, you got me ruined on coffee. I can't go by any of my just little drive-through spots, man. Can't do it.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much, man. Y'all have a blessed day.
You too, Keith. Appreciate you. Coffee with Keith every Saturday from 12 to 1 right here on the legendary KYOK. Let me take a quick break. We'll be right back. Right after this, we should have the coach coming up real soon. So y'all stick and stay. Be right back.
And here is your winning strategy. Often in life, we may feel mistreated and disrespected by others, but it's important to keep in mind that every person is responsible for his or her reactions. I found that if you treat others the way you would like to be treated, even if they have shown you disrespect, people will see the goodness of your heart and favor that. Now, I'm not saying that you should allow people to walk over you, but I'm saying that you can be the bigger person. Every battle in life isn't won with words. Some are won with our actions. And when you go to a game and you are for one team and the other person is for the other team, it's okay to support your team. Don't get upset at the other person because the team that you are supporting lost. You must learn how to deal with the loss just as you dealt with the victory when your team wins.
This is Tamara Fuentes.
And Teddy Stevens with Chosen Hoops.
And we're at KYOK at the lunch break with AJ Jones, the number one and only.
Yeah.
Hey, you should.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
This is Tamara.
Let me stop it. Stop, Tamara and Teddy. Y'all quit. Can't do it twice. All right, y'all. Back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live, KYOKradio.org. Coach should be jumping on any second Got a lot of text messages that have come in. AJ, let's see. Let me see. Coach, I don't see you. All right, Coach says he's on, but I don't see him. So let me see what we got going on, and we'll be right back. Let me get Sybil Wilkes on real quick. We'll see if let me find out where Coach might be. Be right back right after this.
Folks, with what you need to know, today is Tuesday, September 7th, 2021. Number one, you've heard this before. When America gets a cold, Black America gets pneumonia. This certainly applies to current unemployment numbers. Last week's statistics indicate that Black It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Hump Day. It's Wednesday, September 8th, 2021. Number one, although there was great and widely reported Democratic opposition, Texas became the latest Republican state Tuesday to move against alleged vote fraud after the 2020 elections. Governor Greg Abbott signed into law Tuesday the controversial Texas state elections bill that's been widely criticized as an attempt to make it more difficult for Texans, especially those of color, to vote. Among the new voting restrictions, a ban on drive-through and 24-hour voting implemented during the pandemic, more protections for partisan poll watchers, and new ID requirements. Number two, this September, folks will see just how united the Democrats are as their agenda is jam-packed with legislative challenges that can make them susceptible to infighting or worse. They will need to decide upon many issues like the debt ceiling, the Voting Rights Act, an investigation on the Afghanistan withdrawal, and will attempt to bolster women's rights to abortion. The voting rights bill is unlikely to go beyond the 60-vote minimum to bypass the filibuster, leaving GOP-led states to continue implementing practices that restrict access to the ballot. Number three, first responders nationwide on the front lines of the pandemic are among the most hesitant to COVID vaccine mandates, despite being the group of Americans who are dying in larger numbers. According to data compiled by the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, 71 law enforcement officials in the U.S. died from COVID-19 in just the first half of this year. As the Delta variant continues to drive a record number of infections and deaths, frustrated city leaders are enacting mandates for municipal employees, including police officers and firefighters. Number four. This week of labor, we honor the Black labor leaders who visioned and struggled for workers' rights. From A. Philip Randolph, the father of the Black labor movement, to Linda Dent, a leading voice in the contemporary labor movement, African Americans have carried the torch in many social justice movements. Read more about these little-known trailblazers in today's newsletter. Number five. These days, the friendly skies are more of a distant memory. The Federal Aviation Administration said it has issued more than $1 million in fines to unruly airline passengers in 2021. There are no signs that the violence will abate anytime soon, thus reducing or eliminating fines. As recently as Monday, there was a confrontation on an American Airlines flight when a 61-year-old man was arrested after confronting and swearing at flight attendants, growling like an animal, and making racist comments. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Believe in the power of positive thinking. Inhale the good thoughts. Exhale those negative thoughts. I needed that. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with Man About the World, Stephen Hill, comedian extraordinaire Myra Day, and activist Quinn Townsend Riley as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partner, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SybilWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
Well, you know, she's always talking about Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I don't have no problem with that right there. But we got to introduce her to some of those good brothers from KA Psi, Phi Nu Pi, Frat So Nice. They had to name us twice. I got two of us right here. It is none other than the Coach Johnnie Cole. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. Pretty tired from this past weekend. Had a great time up there in Canton, Ohio, and hey, I'm ready to go. It was.
Listen, I know you was home. You got a chance to go home, get some of that good home cooking, man.
But I'm just so mad that we didn't do it on Monday because I wanted to put Mama behind and do it down.
Listen, man, we're gonna have to get Mama on the show, man. You're welcome to invite Mama on the show if you want to.
Hey, look, the greatest coach I ever been a part of. I was just a player, and she
Man, let me tell you something.
and
I
get
can imagine.
up on Sunday, one bathroom, 9 boys. Come on, man.
Coach Johnnie Cole is joining us, man. One of your former players has been really instrumental in the show today. I've really enjoyed Eric Martinier. Man, I've really enjoyed him. He's been tuning in since the beginning of the show.
Man, that he was a great kid, and he trusted in me. He had a couple 1A scholarships. He kind of struggled academic a little bit. I convinced him to follow me, and he came to me to Lane College, NAIA. He's 6'5", 300 pounds. And
wow.
Freshman, of course, made all conference every year, graduated from college. I'm very proud of that young man, and today we still keep in.
He's a good young man. I can tell, just by his comments or what have you, man. I told him I like the way he thinks. We'll have to have him on the show one day. And Coach, really, any of your former players or colleagues or anybody that you want to get on, this show is as much yours as it is mine when we do the HBCU Stroll. So please don't hesitate to invite who you'd like to have on.
I got a lot of followers, so we're going to have to add another 30 minutes to the show.
Hey, man, we got to do it. We got to do it. What we might do is just start at the top of the hour, right at 1 o'clock. We just take the HBCU Stroll for the whole hour. So, Coach, you was up at the HBCU Classic, the Hall of Fame Classic, and it was, Mr. Eddie George's first foray into HBCU head coaching, and 16-10. That's respectable. What did you see?
Well, I seen a pro game on the Tennessee State side, and I told you that Grambling would win the football. Coach Fox put things together. He kept the game tight. Evidently, he's starting a new quarterback. He only threw the ball 11 times, and so what won the game was run game by Grambling and good defense. Unfortunately for Tennessee State, and one of the things they went for a quarterback. I didn't understand. You got the NFL there, and I'm pretty sure the reason why they done that, at the end didn't win the football, but I guess they're trying to find their starter. And unfortunately, they didn't score.
Yeah, and Coach, coming from a standpoint as a former coach, when you see a team like that runs the ball that much, doesn't that make it hard? Because that clock gets eaten up a whole lot when the running game is that predominant on one side versus the other.
What makes it's not a doubt that two things win championships: great defense and run game. It's in a solid special team. So the championship I won in 2010, I'm a going guy, but I knew my athletes, my best athletes in the backfield, and we had a great defense that won in the nation. If you look at all the championship teams, they got great defense, good running game, and a good solid quarterback game.
If you all want to dial in and ask questions of the coach, Johnnie Cole, on this HBCU Stroll, you can do it now. 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. Also, if you want to text in your comment, you can do that. JT Batley said, "What's up, Coach? Great to see you."
Hey, Coach, how you doing? And how's your son? I hope he's doing well. I had the opportunity to coach his son on my AAU basketball. Great family. Great.
You do it all, Coach. You do football. You do AAU basketball. Are you doing tennis and soccer too, Coach? What you doing?
Hey, the only thing I can say, if I was doing it, we winning. We don't.
Coach said, if I put my coaching mind to it, we're going to win that too. I love it. Let's see. C7 Logistics says, good morning. Let me put them on. But, Coach, so what – I get you saw a pro-style offense over with Tennessee State. If you were coaching against them, what things jumped out at you that you could exploit, and what things did they do really well?
Well, one of the things, they jumped around a little bit. They came out in pro formation, which is back old football, and they done some great things, and then all of a sudden they open it back up. Why they had some success. It seems like they were trying to find themselves. I understand that both quarterbacks didn't practice the week because of COVID protocol, so they were struggling personnel-wise and just trying to find their niche. And one thing about a football team, they make their biggest jump from game 1 to game 2. I want to really throw a perspective on the outcome. I like to see them coming up next week against Jackson State over the Southern Heritage Classic in Memphis, and then I can get a better feel.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because Tennessee State has 2 really big, high-profile games to start the season. Obviously, that game with with Grambling in the Hall of Fame Classic, and then they go out of the proverbial frying pan into the fire because now they got Jackson State and all that comes with Coach Primetime and that program, which, by the way, it was an ugly game score-wise, but it was a good game defensively, and his son did enough offensively to help them get in the end zone, and I'm talking about the Jackson State Tigers. So what do you expect from that game in Memphis, given what you saw out of Tennessee State? I got a chance to see Jackson State and FAMU down in the Orange Blossom Classic. And let me tell you something, man. They didn't make a whole lot of mistakes. They played quality defense to keep FAMU out of that end zone.
Well, just to back trace on Tennessee State. See, that's what hurts. Playing in that conference, conference. I never want to take nothing away from LC Cole, who actually won that. So basically, the teams in the OVC can beat all the teams in the SWAC. So back in the day when Tennessee State played big time Florida A&M, Jackson State, those are tough games. And then they got to play even a tougher schedule this conference play. So that always hurt Tennessee State. And that's why I think they should have, if they was going to get in the conference, they should have got in the SWAC conference. But they didn't. The thing about Primetime, of course, he's doing a great job down there. And the hype is there. And unfortunately, the numbers didn't calculate to all the hype. But at the end of the day, only one thing counts: is the win.
The win.
And next year or 5 years from now, nobody wouldn't even know. What was the score? It was that Jackson State beat Florida A&M. So I take my hat off to him. And you got to take your hat off to his son too. This is his first big time college game.
Right.
Fall over a couple times. That's some things you can expect out of a young kid. So, I thought he did a great job. My thing was with him, because I picked him to win the game. And I thought Coach would have him a little better prepared on the offense side. Listen to his press. He indicated that he was happy with the quarterback. And in this game of football, you got to have a snap. He went through several quarterbacks. I guess he couldn't find his rhythm. I don't believe in that. I believe in I'm gonna get one guy and then we're gonna go. We're gonna hopefully he catch far and he understand what's going on because you got to get in the rhythm. I played that position as well, and I'll stay in that position in and out. So hopefully again, like I said earlier about football team better the second game. Well, maybe both of those teams play much better coming next week.
Yeah, we got Coach Johnnie Cole. It's our HBCU Stroll special edition. We normally do it on Mondays. We did it on Wednesday. Monday was a holiday. Coach was traveling yesterday, so we had to get it in today. Couldn't go a week without it. All right, so JT Batley said, Coach, what do you think is missing today from the HBCU football program?
Well, one of the things, we always got to start at the top. Everything starts at the top. And, financially, I think if we could do a better job, colleges, a better job, the alumni for sure has to come out and support the universities like they're done in the old days. And then when you get those, hopefully that somehow try to challenge them back into. It's tough because, the bigger white schools, white schools, the bigger schools, are all free. But today, everybody plays on television. Not just one conference. Everybody plays on some type of television. So, hopefully, these guys come able to prepare their players and make sure that we put the product on the field.
Yeah, that's the next question that came in. I don't even know where this area code is, but area code 570-213 said, Coach, what does Texas Southern have to do to get turned around like when they were under you? I didn't like what I saw this past weekend.
That's the easy one. Hire me back.
Coach, I can't tell how you really feel about that. Say it again, like you stuttered on that. How do you feel, Coach?
Out of 80 years of football, I'm the only one ever won the SWAC conference championship outright. And the last time we won it was almost 50 years ago. And it takes a special person to go into Houston and recruit. A lot of people. So you got 150 high schools within the radius. You know what I mean? You sitting there, got all those Fortune 500 companies, and unfortunately, that person comes in there. Number one, needs to know the mission of the university. Number two, he's got to have that it about himself. You know what I mean? And then he has to understand the black college way and understand that the kids that most of the time when these top athletes come to these HBCUs, they come with luggage. So you're gonna have to be able to put that psychology hat on, that father hat on, that mother hat on, that 24/7. I'm gonna get this thing turned. One of the things I done, and I took my kids to, because I believe that you got to raise these kids spiritually, as well as academically, and well as athletically. And if you're not doing that at this university, you're gonna be just like all the other 18 or 16 coaches that have came there failed.
Yeah, we got Coach Johnnie Cole joining us for our HBCU Stroll special edition as we stroll down the weekend in HBCU college football. When I look at the, just the stats from that game, man, Prairie View dominated that game from beginning to end. I mean, it wasn't close. It was 20-3 at the half. And, the score, go ahead.
Texas Southern didn't take advantage of the turnovers early, and that was bad. I mean, 3 turnovers, you come up with 3 points, and one of the turnovers, like on your 4th, and you
right.
I didn't see any explosion. See them push Prairie View back, and then when you had games since 2018, you got to be more look. On the offensive side of the ball. I didn't see it. Every time I did feel it, didn't quit. In the game, they tried to fight back. But it's some trouble down there in Houston, Texas. And hopefully, with his background, being from Jack getting there, hopefully he can.
Yeah, somebody asked me, was the personality of Coach McKinney the right personality for what Texas Southern needs? I'm sure the Coach McKinney that we see in press conferences is different than the Coach McKinney that we see out there on the field. Is that something that coaches do? You don't have the same fire in a press conference that you do when you're trying to run your offense, defense, and special teams, right?
Well, that now we were getting, I've been to several, and what happens sometimes is, in my case, the coaches took what they say confident. You want that kind of guy. Coach Maynor up at Alabama A&M, I love that guy. He's a straight up guy. He's saying, hey, look here. He told Dion, hey, I recruit just like you recruit. And to me, that's the kind of attitude you have to be a leader, and you moving 100 people. You got to have a guy that's confident, know what he's doing, and have a system. It's got to be your system. I played under a pro coach, and then I went on to coach 9 years under the pro coach, as well as 2 other coaches. You know what I mean? And then, I had a brother that played at the University of Nebraska. I've coached at Division I. I've been on every level to gather my system. And my system was what I learned in college. And then along the way, I learned how to run a program. And what happens when you go out and get these Power 5 coaches, that's all they do. AJ, they coach their position and they go recruit. They don't have to deal with housing, financial aid, food service, the equipment man. At Lane College, we built lockers. You can't come in there with your pride. You got to roll your sleeves up. You know what I'm saying? You got to be there every day. You got to pick paper up off, and you got to lead. And that's what I mean. You got to lead, and it's a job. And when we get these guys that come down to that level, that's what happens.
We got Coach Johnnie Cole joining us here on the lunch break. It's our HBCU Stroll special edition. And I got a question from C7 Logistics. Coach, why is the SWAC team hiring the high-profile Black retired players as coaches?
Well, I think we're caught up in the name instead of what we need. And like I had a chance to talk to Willie Lanier and some of the Black college Hall of Famers. And like I was telling them, I said, hey, these guys are getting the jobs off of our backs. You know what I mean? I played at Black college. I talked with Doug Williams. I talked with Willie Totten. These jobs are supposed to be our jobs. You know what I mean? And when you guys go out, they don't understand. Believe me, I have nothing against Dion. I think he's doing a great job for his program. But what he don't understand is, he was talking about, well, why the guys don't have their name on the jersey? Well, that comes down to a preference. It comes down to budget. You know what I mean? Some schools can't afford that. Because after that season, then you got to either cut that off, get that jersey away to the senior, and then when you try to go buy a whole set of new uniforms, you got that too. So it's deeper than that. To me, see, what he don't understand is, he come from a big animal. We small animals, but all that is called the ecosystem. You know what I mean? Everybody can't be, the gorilla in the house, in the jungle. You got to have the monkeys, and then you got to have the ants who eat up worms, and then you got to have you see what I'm saying? See, he come from that, well, I want it, let me get it. Well, that ain't that, and that don't mean that it's you less. That don't mean you're less than. You got to have some schools. You know what I mean? Everybody can't be Division I, because if that's the case, he would be coaching up there and not down where we are. So that's why, and I think we always are caught up in the hype instead of, at the end of the day, there's some Black college coaches that's out of work. And there's some Black college coaches that deserve that. Here's my question to them. How many presidents are being hired from there? How many presidents are coming from Black colleges being hired there? How many athletic directors are leaving Black colleges and hired there? I guarantee you can't count more than that. I guarantee you. So it's bringing some attention to our conference. He's bringing some attention to Jackson State, which is good. I can't argue with that. But some things need to just stay in house. And why would I want to go play for a Black college because they don't put name on my jersey? I don't know. You know what I mean? You don't want that out there. You know what I'm saying? We don't have 5 helmets. You know what I mean? We got 1. We don't have 5 shoulder pads to get. We got 1. You know what I mean? And that's okay. You know what I mean? And that's the other part of being a Black college graduate. See, when you get out in that real world, ain't nobody handing you nothing. So when you go through a Black college, you learn how to do without. You know what I mean? You learn how to make it. It's just like back in slavery when they used to throw the chitlins out and keep the good part of the meat in the house, and what we come up with chitlins.
Coach, you said a mouthful right there. I got you.
Okay.
I can't do nothing but say amen.
College man. Texas Southern University.
Coach, we got to take a quick break. We'll take this quick break. We'll come back with the Coach, Johnnie Cole. We're on our HBCU Stroll right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. We'll be right back right after this.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated number
Wait, Coach.
one by a leading
Wait, I can't hear you because of this. Hold on, Coach. Hold on.
Most of you won't even call unless
Woo! You said something.
bad happens. So let's give you a reason.
Stay right there, Coach.
For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-561-6198. 800-561-6198. 800-561-6198. Again, that's 800-561-6198.
This is Jasmine Ortiz from Baytown, and you're listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, thank you very much there, Jasmine Ortiz, right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our Winning Wednesday. We are having a special edition of the HBCU Stroll with the Coach, Johnnie Cole, and I'll tell you what, he just said a mouthful. Real quick, Coach Cole, let's see, it says inventory and mentor. This is Toriano Morgan shouting out to you. Toriano Morgan shouting out to you.
That's one of my former players that I didn't get a chance to. I coached him, but I left before he became the man over at Tennessee State, and now he's the head coach at Edward Waters College. If you want to go somewhere and get it done, Coach Morgan can get it done. He's doing a super job. He's opened up 1-0. I don't even know when the last time that school was 1-0, but he's doing a super job down there, and I appreciate him listening in.
Yeah, we have to get him on the show and hear about his program because the HBCU Stroll is about all black colleges, and we want to do that. C7 Logistics says, for some reason, TSU does not mention the success of Coach LC Cole, first black coach to win the OVC twice and to have an 11-0 season. Why is that?
I wonder about that as well. And he's talking about Tennessee State, not
right.
Texas. He got the Eddie Robinson Award, and he really done a super job down there. And unfortunately, it's not just him. All those student athletes who played in the 98 and 99 season. I wonder why. It's almost like they're trying to forget those years. So that's a good question. Maybe we need to get Eddie George on and ask him, have they even talked with him about it?
What's interesting is I would love for Eddie George to make sure that those kind of legacies and histories get remembered and not get washed over. And I'm going to go ahead and say this, and folks can not like me, and maybe I won't get credentials down there in Third Ward, but they need to say your name more too, because they ain't done nothing since and wasn't doing a whole lot before, and you can't write over that history. You brought in the championship. They need to be celebrating that. And for some reason, it gets very rarely mentioned.
Well, unfortunately, the administration at that time, they made a decision about me and which today I still disagree with, but they had the right to make that decision. And it did more bad things to the program and to the university than it did good. And when you make those decisions, you got to look at it from the long run and for really what was best for the university. And I thought they were all personal decisions, and for what reason, they have that reason. I don't, at this time in my life, it's behind me. I've been moving forward, and I always say the good Lord never made me miss a sandwich. I always had a sandwich and never got rained on and a job to get up and go to.
Coach Johnnie Cole, we're on the HBCU Stroll here on Winning Wednesday. And let's see. CJ Wright said, nothing beats wisdom. She, like me, said you just said something when you was talking about when they threw one thing out, we found a way to cook that up and eat it too, boy.
That's the black college way. We take what we got, and then we turn it around. Can we do better? Yes, we can do better. But we got to understand the game. States don't support sports on college campuses, so it comes from monies that you raise from. They don't give a college. Okay, we giving the college $12 million. They give them a lump sum of money, and then they allocate it over to scholarships and whatever is needed. So if more of our alumni would give back, but these black colleges got to do a better job of reaching out. And see, when you don't hire your own, and then one of your own go make it, you know what I mean? And then he comes back on campus and he knows nobody, and then somebody disrespect him, or you only call him when you find out he's some, or like for instance Mike Strahan with Texas Southern University. You got everybody calling Mike Strahan. Mike Strahan wasn't even the best football player on our football team, and he'll tell you that. We had several. Between that year that he graduated and the 2 years, we had 22 guys get NFL contracts. So we had a great team, but unfortunately we didn't win. And that's how important it is, the right guy at your school. And when you get a winner, you better hold on to him. Texas Southern, look at a lot of schools. When you get a winner, you got to hold on to him.
Yeah, Coach Morgan came back in. He was saying that you are an innovator and a mentor. And again, we're gonna have to get him on the show because, like you said, Edwin Waters jumping out with a 1-0 record, man. I had a young man go through that program, and bless his heart, man, they weren't close to winning any of their games. So to see that he got them on that right track, it's good to see.
Coach Morgan knows the system. And, I'm a system guy, and he will get that program going in the right direction. Ain't no question. And matter of fact, they better hold on to him because he gonna be off and gone in another year or two.
Let me start some mess, Coach. Before I do, let me read C7 logistics question. Coach, why no HBCU will hire two of the most successful black coaches in the game today? I know one of them is you. I don't know who the other one is.
Oh man, I would tell you who taught me, my brother, LC Cole. I for the life of me, the success we've had, we turned Tennessee State around and finished #1 in the country, won the OVC, broke all the conference records, went to Alabama State, won 2 back-to-back Eastern Conference, went to the SWAC championship. I went to Lane College, turned Lane College around, 2 winning seasons, ain't done in 30 years. Ended up going to Texas Southern Harm. My brother won the SWAC championship there. Yeah, we had some NCAA violations in the program. But, hey, Jay, tell me what black school could have or do some violations that even close compared to what our other counterparts are. Because it ain't no money there. You know what I mean?
Coach.
So,
You in my neighborhood now. The NCAA can't suspend Miami for some reason. They can't suspend North Carolina, Duke, Kansas, Louisville. They can't suspend Michigan State. They can't find and they got blatant issues on every one of those. They got folks on tape offering to give money at Arizona and LSU, but they got Prairie View, they got Jackson State, they got FAMU on probation.
Yeah, Alcorn State won 2 championships. Violations. There's been violations in the conference for the last 20 years on schools. Why they look at me and my brother different, I don't know. We're not perfect. You know what I mean? And we're both men of integrity and of character. And just ask our players. We winning. And not only were we winning on the football field, we were winning, as graduation. My brother graduated 94% at Texas Southern, who had never got to the APR. My players, after I was gone, reached the APR starters, which was over 90. And then the thing about it is they paying these guys millions. 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 You know what I mean? So that guy, he can walk away and live the rest of his life. You know what I'm saying? But that's
all I'm gonna say is there's a coach right now that's on a coaching staff that oversaw a program where a young man died, and Coach DJ Durkin is still is still leading young men. He ain't the head coach, but he is a coach. So again, you don't have to sell me on that. And I know people are gonna say, but AJ, but nothing. I say it again. People bend the rules for the folks that they like. They hold them strictly against the folks that they don't like. Coach, we got to run through these games real quick. I'm going to read them off to you. You tell me who you got. All right. I already know the answer to this. Saturday, Alabama State takes on Auburn. Who you got?
Auburn.
Yes, sir. Fort Valley State takes on FAMU.
It's going to be a close one. Fort Valley can put points up. It's going to be close, though. But I'm gonna go with Florida A&M.
You and me both. Bethune-Cookman and UCF.
UCF.
You and me both. Texas Southern and Baylor.
Come on. Next.
Grambling and Southern Miss.
Southern Miss.
Yep. Tennessee State and Jackson State.
Man, should be a pretty good game. But I'm gonna go with Jackson State.
You and me both. Northwestern State and Alcorn State.
Northwest. Give me Northwestern.
Northwestern State here too. Miles College and Southern University.
Gonna be another good. You can't sleep on Miles. Coach Ruffin is doing a super job down there. I'm gonna give Southern a bounce back.
I'm going with Miles College. They stay up late, but they graduate. And then Prairie View versus Incarnate Word.
Incarnate Word.
Yeah, Incarnate Word. But I love that quarterback for Prairie View, the young man, Jawan Pass. He's got NFL size. He's got a nice arm. I just wish they had him in a system that will let him kind of use his skills a little bit. But you're right. I'm going with Incarnate Word in that one.
Gonna get real good by the end of the year.
I agree. Coach, we got to get ready to go. Tell everybody where they can find you and follow you. And we'll be back on Monday, and we'll start at 1 o'clock with the HBCU Stroll.
You can find me on Facebook and on Instagram at Cold-Blooded Number 9. I appreciate you coming out and listening to the show. I look forward to next week. And you got to love Black college football.
Coach Cole, first of all, I appreciate you as always. I always got your back, and I can't wait to do it again this coming Monday. All right?
All right. Yo.
Yo. All right, Coach Cole, we'll talk to you later. All right, so we got to get ready to go. Y'all know we've got to get Sybil Wilkes on here. Sybil Wilkes about to take us through what you need to know. And, man, great stuff from Coach Cole. I know a lot of y'all have comments and things that y'all want to get to. I will go through the rest of the NFL games tomorrow. But don't forget, if you want to be a part of the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge, I need your picks by tomorrow at 5 o'clock. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. There's nothing you can do about it except wash your hands, wear your mask where you're supposed to, sanitize things like you're supposed to, and whatever you do, when you see that racism and that bullying, shut it down. Kill it. Not the people or the person, but the racism and the bullying. Don't be quiet about it. Don't laugh about it. Don't joke about it. Shut it down. All right, got to go. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Throwback Thursday right here on the Lunch Break. Here's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know today.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Hump Day. It's Wednesday, September 8th, 2021. Number one, although there was great and widely reported Democratic opposition, Texas became the latest Republican state Tuesday to move against alleged vote fraud after the 2020 elections. Governor Greg Abbott signed into law Tuesday the controversial Texas state elections bill that's been widely criticized as an attempt to make it more difficult for Texans, especially those of color, to vote. Among the new vote voting restrictions, a ban on drive-through and 24-hour voting implemented during the pandemic, more protections for partisan poll watchers, and new ID requirements. Number 2, this September, folks will see just how united the Democrats are as their agenda is jam-packed with legislative challenges that can make them susceptible to infighting or worse. They will need to decide upon many issues like the debt ceiling, the Voting Rights Act, an investigation on the Afghanistan withdrawal, and will attempt to bolster women's rights to abortion. The voting rights bill is unlikely to go beyond the 60-vote minimum to bypass the filibuster, leaving GOP-led states to continue implementing practices that restrict access to the ballot. Number 3, first responders nationwide on the front lines of the pandemic are among the most hesitant to COVID vaccine mandates, despite being the group of Americans who are dying in larger numbers. According to data compiled by the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, 71 law enforcement officials in the U.S. died from COVID-19 in just the first half of this year. As the 6 p.m. Central, with Man About the World Stephen Hill, comedian extraordinaire Myra J., and activist Quinn Townsend Riley, as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partner, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SybylWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all.
It's Sybil Wilkes
I hope y'all
with What You
have
Need.
a great rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for Throwback Thursday. Y'all be blessed.